We all dream about having that happy, joyous retirement. It's the number one long-term financial planning goal for most, to put themselves in a position to have a happy outcome in retirement. But that doesn't always happen. And I want to share with you some of the conversations that I've had with my clients over the years and some of the tips that we've talked about that could help them to put them in a better place so they truly enjoy this next chapter of life. But before we get there, subscribe to my channel. I have over 30 years in this business, talking to my clients, talking with people in this business, and I want to share with you that information so that you can improve your retirement income or enjoy the retirement journey, whatever is important to you. I've said this on this channel over and over again. I think our industry has done a lousy job of preparing most people for retirement. Our industry focuses on just the money. He who has more money can buy more toys, and therefore they'll be happier. That's not always true. And for many people, it's not true at all. Because retirement, or getting the most reward out of retirement, getting the most fulfilled journey in retirement, has as much to do with the non-financial aspects as the financial ones. Let me share with you a couple of quick vignettes, if I will. I've got one person who I've talked to recently. He's 79 years old. He's all set financially. He's been working for a major organization. They've even had layoffs, and they laid off the younger people. That shows you how valuable this person is in his late 70s. And we're doing the planning and we're recognizing that he has enough money and he's just about ready to hit that button, and he's having trouble with it because his identity is wrapped up in over 50 years of working. So we're talking about that. I've got another client who retired early. They have enough money. He had no trouble hitting that button. And his entire goal for the rest of his retirement was just to sit on the beach 24/7 on Marco Island. He just wanted to chill for this next chapter of life. And then I have a couple who is retired just a handful of years ago. Again, they have enough money, but they didn't do enough work to prepare for this transition. And they're having real difficulty in identifying their roles, and they're having trouble with their marriage. And as it turns out, they're not alone in this chapter of life, because the percentage of divorce in the gray divorce is going up. So we really have to do a lot of work to attend to the emotions, the non-financial aspect of this transition, as much as the numbers. So I want to share with you 7 important items that you need to be dealing with, some of which are financial, but some of them are non-financial. And all of these are important to help you maximize that reward, that experience, that joy that you'll be feeling into retirement. So I will start with the financial ones, okay? The first one is, and it's right out front, it's do the planning, all right? New York Life did a study a number of years ago. They took a look at 3 different groups of people and asked them the same 2 questions. The first group had investable assets of approximately $500,000. And they said, do you think you have enough to retire? And the answer really was from the group, no, we don't think so. And the follow-up question was, well, how much do you think you need? And they said, somewhere in the vicinity of $1 million. Second group had $1 million, asked the same 2 questions, and they said, no, we don't think we have enough money, and we think we need $2.4 million. And then they went to the third group, who had $2 million. Asked the same 2 questions, and they too said, we don't think we have enough money. We think we need $5 million. Well, without the planning, I guess you never know. I have very wealthy clients who have more than $5 million who still aren't sure whether they had enough money until we did the planning to identify exactly what your cash flow need is, what your bucket list items are, and then you can feel comfortable that at whatever level you have, that you have enough to sustain your lifestyle, the desired way you wish to live in retirement. Without doing the planning, is 500,000 enough? Is $1 million enough? Is 2 million enough? The planning will give you that answer, and it will take some of the mystery out and reduce some of the stress you may be feeling as you enter into retirement. The second item, and this was highlighted in a recent study by Employee Benefits Research Institute, and that is to attend to your debt. And in the EBRI study, what they showed was those who have struggled, those who are finding less satisfaction, particularly financially, which then impacts the stress that they're feeling, those folks typically had more debt than those who had more satisfaction. So I really want you to attend to, particularly now where we are right now with interest rates, historic lows, right? But they're going to start to move back up. That's my opinion, right? So if you have credit card debt that is just overwhelming, or any other kind of debt, and some debt that could be variable that will be moving up, as you approach retirement, take a look at accelerating your payments to reduce that debt. I'm not a believer in just be debt-free. Some like that. That's okay. I don't mind having a mortgage at these low interest rates because I think I can do better with my money than just paying it down. But overall, studies show the more you attend to that debt and try to lower it, there is a correlation for some that they will have more satisfaction and be happier in their retirement. The number 3 item is to protect and preserve your assets. And so when people come into my office, at the time they're prospects, right? And typically the number one conversation they have is, managing their money, will I have enough income? But underlying that, and it's really important to them when I bring it up and they go, oh yeah, I need to deal with that as well, is making sure that their spouse is protected so that he or she can lead their life when the first spouse goes. And that deals with proper money management to preserve and protect assets. That deals with estate planning, making sure you have got the proper documents in place. And the way I think about it is really 3 stages. The 2 of you together, right? And then somebody's going to outlive the other. And then the kids or the grandkids. And once you put in place the money management that you feel comfortable with and the estate planning documents that are in alignment with your goals, then you'll typically find that you'll have more sleep at night, knowing that you've done all you could to protect and preserve the lifestyle for those that you love. I want to get into the non-financial aspects as well, but before I do that, the real question is, do you think you're prepared for retirement? I wrote in my latest book, Don't Outlive Your Money in Retirement, a quiz. And the quiz really is 15 questions. Invest 2 minutes. Go to our banner. Take the quiz. Once you take the quiz, I'll immediately get back to you which of the 3 stages of retirement you are prepared for. Is it good? In the middle? Need a lot of work? And I'll also get to you a free chapter of the book along with a couple of worksheets that will provide for you some more clarity in terms of how well prepared you are for this next chapter of life. So let's go into the non-financial aspects which can be as, if not more important than the financial one. So I have a couple. They're both retiring in their mid to late 70s now. They were both working for their town. One, was dealing with park and recs and the library, and she was dealing with the budget. She was the go-to person. The other was teaching in the local university. And they decided it was time. They wanted to move up. And what they did was they talked with each other. They prepared for each other's different roles as they now enter into this next chapter. And it's very interesting because when we were talking and doing the planning, I said to him, so what keeps you up at night as you think about this transition? He says, I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of my life. I mean, I can play 3 rounds of golf a week, but what do I do with the rest of my time? And I turned to her and I said, what keeps you up late at night as you think about this transition? She says, I don't know what I'm going to do with him. This is what we go through as we make this transition and we lose that structure. And all of a sudden we're thrown in together, sort of like what just happened with the pandemic, had no place to go 24/7 with our spouse. We need to talk, have serious conversations with our spouse or partner about what our roles are going to be. We can live our lives, part of it, independent of each other, and then there'll be a lot of times with each other to find how that's going to happen before you get there. It may reduce the stress of making that transition. The second non-financial item, and I sort of talked about it just there, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? But I titled this, Replacing the Business Culture. So here's the deal. When we're working, we have a reason to get up. We go get dressed, have some breakfast, and go to the office, assuming we're going to the office these days. We talk to our colleagues around the water bubbler. We are a part of an organization, a community. We're typically a respected member of that community, helping to grow it and accomplish its objectives. And that takes up a lot of our time. We've been doing that for many, many years. And when I do planning for people and we come up with the fact that the numbers say you can retire tomorrow, many people go, oh, no. I don't want to leave my second home. And sometimes they defer that retirement. There's an identity associated with us in that workplace. So you really have to think hard about providing structure and purpose as we go on into this next chapter of life. The next non-financial item is, and I've talked about it a couple times, and I need to really hone in on this, it's really, really important, is identity. Who are we? Now that we've been stripped of what we've done or created or produced over the last 30, 40, 50 years. I'm a small business owner, right? I'm identified by people and by myself as being the owner of this retirement planning firm for many, many years. If I go into retirement at some point, or if you who have built your own business go into retirement at some point, we lose that identity. And we have to find a way to recreate who we are and what our purpose and desire and passions are now, so that we can truly feel that we're doing something good, feel respected, maybe even give back, which gives reward back to us. But it's really important to, if you're going to enjoy this journey, be able to find that new passion, purpose, and identity. And that may take some time after you've made that initial transition into retirement. And the last one is, and it sort of goes without saying, but sometimes we forget about it and we take it for granted. We have to maintain our health, from an exercise and fitness perspective, from the way that we eat, from the, if you will, clutter that we may have or create for ourselves, which is something we don't talk about a lot. That it may not just be physical clutter, but we may be thinking about a lot of things, and it may be causing stress in our lives now in this next chapter. We may be facing things like our spouse may be ill, or the kids or the grandkids, and we need to figure out how to reduce the stress, reduce the clutter, maintain a healthy mind, maintain our exercise and fitness, and eat as well as we can so that we can truly enjoy however many years that we have, so that we can find the reward and fulfillment that I know that we all desire. And for more, make sure you go to our playlist on the 7 steps on not outliving your money in retirement.